Welcome back to the Green Yard. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, spring morning. I'm over here in the food forest part of the Green Yard, surrounded by butterflies and koi fish and all of these wonderful tropical trees. This here is our papaya we planted earlier. You can see the video for that here in the link. You can see how much it's growing since we planted it, doing really well. Our soursop here as well, doing really amazing, putting off a whole bunch of new growth. Today though, we're here for a planting video. Going to be planting actually this Plumeria here. Plumerias, for those of you that don't know, actually native to Mexico, but they are a beautiful kind of succulent type tree, and they create these wonderful flowers like you see here. And these are actually the flowers that they use for the traditional leis that they make in Hawaii. So very beautiful plant. I was gonna put it around the pool area, and I think I still will in the future, but I was over here and sitting here in the food forest part of the Green Yard, and I thought how beautiful it would be to have this wonderful Plumeria, blooming Plumeria over the pond. So we're actually going to put it right here in kind of right next to the pond here, and go through planting instructions and how we're going to get this Plumeria in the ground. Here we go. One of the things that always amazes me about soil that's been under mulch for an extended period of time. This mulch has probably been here for 2 years, around 2 years, right around when we moved in. I put down this mulch, and so what's cool about this soil is that a lot of it's already broken down, and it really doesn't take that long for the mulch to break down and turn into this wonderful soil. So really just even putting down a small layer of mulch really does help immensely with turning our clay soil into something that's a little bit more full of organic material. Helps give those nutrients back to the plants here. So I've dug my hole though, and now I'm going to go ahead and mix our nursery soil, our tropical tree soil, as well as this native soil back into the hole, and then we'll go ahead and get this Plumeria in the ground, making sure it's at the right level with that root flare exposed there as well. So I put all of my excess nursery soil actually in this container here. So we're just gonna pour some in, set this off to the side, start mixing some of this native soil back in as well. Now we're just gonna mix. Mix it together. Looks like I actually might need to add some more native soil in. All right. Looking pretty great. So I'm just gonna dig out a spot for my Plumeria here. Not sure how rooted out this guy is. I don't think it's very much. Most Plumerias are propagated by cuttings. So oftentimes nurseries will just take the cuttings and, oh, it actually is doing really well. Look at all these roots on here. So let's put a little bit more in here. Yep. I want to make sure that the top of the root here is at a little bit above ground level, so a little bit above grade. That way when the plant sinks, because it'll sink as you water it, it can still breathe. So they breathe, most plants breathe through the root flare here at the top where the top roots are. So we want to make sure our plant can breathe after we've planted it and put it in the ground. You want to use all that time and energy and then not have your plant be able to, you know, breathe and function. That's actually really good. Looks great. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful tree. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get some more mulch and put that mulch in here. And I'm also gonna make a little berm around for water, so that way when I water it, all the water seeps in, soaks into the ground here. All around it. Go ahead and take my sulfur, spread it around as well. Make sure we get that pH level less for our Plumeria here. And one thing with the mulch that's really important is to make sure, yes, I have a mound of mulch, but it's away from the trunk of the tree. You can't have it touching the trunk of the tree because that causes all kinds of rot problems and other issues. So it's fine to have a mound of mulch like I have here, big mound of mulch, but just make sure that around the actual trunk of the tree, it's clear. All right, so there we have it. We went ahead and planted our Plumeria in the ground here in the green yard, over in the food forest part of the green yard. This is actually a Plumeria rubra. There's like hundreds of varieties of Plumeria out there, and this is one of the more common ones with that kind of red flower on there. So I think it's going to be beautiful, grow really well here in the food forest part. It's protected in the winter from the cold. They do need cold protection in the winter, and that afternoon shade in the summer. They do really well with that afternoon shade, but they definitely need that cold protection in the winter. They actually can freeze very, very easily here in the Phoenix Valley. And luckily for me, I have this microclimate set up where I may not even have to cover it because it's protected by this huge giant mulberry tree, and a little bit warmer over here too with all of these other trees and the pond here as well. So as always, live green, plant lots, and of course, have fun. We'll see you next time.